Do you often wonder if someone in your life is a narcissist? Stay tuned as we unravel the truth behind narcissism and its impact on relationships. Let's dive in. Welcome to Mind Minutes. Today we're diving into a topic that's been buzzing around a lot lately, NPD, or Narcissistic Personality Disorder.
It's everywhere, right? Every time you turn around, someone's labeling someone else as an NPD. Reality TV, social media, it's like a NPD free-for-all.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, is NPD really that prevalent, or are we just throwing the term around too casually? It's a serious diagnosis, a clinical condition, not just a quirky personality trait.
Right, and that's a crucial point. The input text really emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between clinically diagnosed NPD and simply having narcissistic tendencies. Like, we all have some degree of self-centeredness, right? That doesn't automatically make us NPD.
Absolutely. The DSM-5, like the text points out, defines NPD as a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy. But importantly, it has to cause significant impairment in functioning, like messing up your job, relationships, and life in general. That's a key distinction.
So someone exhibiting narcissistic traits might be difficult, yeah? But they might not necessarily meet the criteria for a full-blown NPD diagnosis. The text talks about how this overdiagnosis can actually be harmful. It can trivialize the very real struggles of those who do have NPD and maybe even prevent them from seeking help.
It also creates this culture of fear, doesn't it? Everyone's so quick to label and run. It kind of shuts down any chance of understanding or working through relationship challenges. And let's be honest, relationships are complex. There's nuance there. Attributing everything to NPD simplifies things way too much.
Totally. And the input text points out something really interesting. Two key features for an NPD diagnosis are a pervasive pattern and causing impairment. I mean, pervasive meaning it affects basically every aspect of their life, like the need for validation is constant.
And that causing impairment part? It's not just about being a bit self-absorbed, it's about actual damage to themselves and others. Their relationships suffer, their work life might be a mess, and often they have other co-occurring mental health issues like depression or substance abuse. It's serious. Like, we're talking really difficult internal stuff.
Yeah. The input text also delves into why we might be seeing so many people exhibit these narcissistic traits these days, even if they don't qualify for a diagnosis. And it's really fascinating, right? They talk about upbringing narcissistic parenting styles where kids are either smothered with praise or constantly put down.
Oh, that's so interesting. It's like setting them up for this either or inflated ego or a desperate need for external validation to compensate for feeling inadequate. And that, it continues, actually stems from earlier generations dealing with societal instability and using control as a coping mechanism.
It's like this intergenerational trauma, right? The anxieties and insecurities get passed down, manifested as this need to control. And in today's world, with social media amplifying everything, that need for validation is even more well pronounced.
Totally. And the whole meritocracy thing, the constant pressure to achieve, to prove your worth, that just fuels the fire. It creates this environment where seeking external validation becomes almost necessary to survive, so to speak.
Yeah, so it's really about understanding the underlying factors. Like, maybe instead of immediately labeling someone, we try to see the person behind the behavior, right? Recognize the societal pressures, the upbringing, the possible internal struggles they might be facing. And hey, while we are on the subject, if you are finding this conversation insightful, remember to like and subscribe to our podcast to stay updated on the latest episodes.
So picking up on this whole societal influence thing, right? The input text mentions this idea of intergenerational trauma, yeah? Like anxieties being passed down, manifesting as this need for control.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Like, earlier generations dealing with instability, using control as a coping mechanism, which then morphs into
Narcissistic parenting styles. Exactly, where kids are either smothered or constantly criticized, right? It creates this vacuum for validation.
and that vacuum gets filled, often in unhealthy ways, with this constant need for external approval, which, as the input text highlights, can lead to some of those narcissistic traits we see so much these days.
It's like a self-perpetuating cycle, almost. And then you throw in social media with its curated perfection and constant comparisons. It's a recipe for disaster, frankly. The input text uses strong words to describe how it fuels this fire, making that validation almost like a survival need.
It's almost as if we are hardwired for it now. And I mean, think about the pressure to achieve, right? This whole meritocracy thing, it just intensifies everything. You're constantly being judged, measured, ranked.
It's important to remember what we talked about earlier, though, about the difference between narcissistic traits and actual NPD. The input content really stresses that distinction.
Oh, absolutely. Like we all have moments of self-centeredness, right? That doesn't make us clinically narcissistic. The input text references the DSM-5 criteria, pervasive pattern, impairment, and functioning. It's a much higher bar.
Right. And the input reminds us that overusing the label NPD can actually be harmful. It trivializes the struggles of those who truly have the disorder and might prevent them from seeking help. It's almost like a societal blind spot.
Yeah. And it can create this culture of fear in relationships. Everyone's so quick to diagnose and detach instead of trying to understand each other.
It makes you wonder if all this external pressure does, in fact, play a role. Maybe, just maybe, instead of pointing fingers, we should be looking inward and at the systems we've created. Hmm.
Absolutely. And if you're finding this conversation as thought-provoking as we are, hit that like button and subscribe to Mind Minutes. We dive into these little mental hookups every day, offering practical advice and new perspectives. And from both of us, a huge thank you to our listeners. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you next time for another dose of Mind Minutes. Take care, everyone.